Isabel, I really enjoyed listening to your thoughts on the cognitive distortions video that we watched this week. I thought it was very insightful. I did agree with you that there was mind reading going on, especially when Helen is thinking about, um, like she's already assuming that her husband is going to resent her if he asks her to watch the kids. Um, And then I like how you said that there was emotional reasoning and that sometimes like emotions, are not true. And even though they feel like they are. Um, and I feel like during the session, like she just had already kind of like made up her mind, like, oh, going to this playwright class is gonna be dumb. Um, like she was already feeling like defeated. It almost seemed like she was feeling defeated. And because, she's like, well, my husband's going to resent me if I ask him. And like, it's so dumb. Like, I already have a master's degree. Like, what am I even going to go for? So I think that in her head, she felt defeated and was already like, no, this is a bad idea. So I'm not even going to entertain it anymore. But you're right. I did, like the way that the therapist was very non-judgmental, and she allowed her to explore her thoughts, kind of echoing back some of those thoughts to her and then letting her come to the conclusion of what she thinks it is, and then helping her to confirm, yes, you're on the right track or not quite. But even when she corrects her on certain things, she doesn't do it in a confrontational way. She's very calm, she's very warm, um, and definitely very non-judgmental. Um, I agree with you that a lot of, especially working with kids, I do tend to see a lot of all or nothing. And it comes up during times of stress, especially when like the grading period is coming to an end or report cards are going out, exams are happening. Um, I agree that situations like that or that type of thing, those cognitive distortions can really affect, just like the self-esteem and the self-concept that kids have of themselves, of thinking like, well, I have to get all A's, or, oh, I'm failing one class, or I'm failing this. Like, I'm just never going to do anything. Like, I'm just, like you said, like, I'm not smart enough to be here. Um, and so I feel like if we as teachers or even as future counselors don't take the time to help them work through those cognitive distortions, it could be very detrimental, um, for those kids, like leading to like dropouts and, not wanting to pursue anything. And, that's something that we definitely don't want, because we're here for the kids. Like, we're here for the best interests of them. Um, One of the things that you pointed out was about personalization when it comes to teachers. Um, and I definitely have seen that a lot. Um, on my current campus and my previous campus too, where, like you said, it's coming, it feels like it's coming from a good place when you're thinking like, oh, well, this child isn't doing well academically, or, their behavior is getting worse. Like, it must be me. It must be something I'm doing wrong. Um, and, like you said, it's coming from a place of like caring and, really wanting that child to succeed. But I think you're right. Like, the personalization of it will definitely lead to burnout. A few years ago, I was definitely feeling that. And I can definitely relate to, like you said, about taking some time off. Um, during that COVID year, I decided to take the time off. I was really burnt out from the years before. I was feeling very unsatisfied with my work. And I also happened to be pregnant with my second. So I decided to take a year off. And when I came back the next year, after my year off, I felt kind of like a renewed sense of purpose. Um, but you're right about how, personalization and the overgeneralizations and the cognitive distortions like can definitely impact like staff morale and lead to burnout. So thanks for sharing.